and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's that exciting time. I get to kit up my December Advent painting. So for anybody that's new here, I've done this for the last few years, so there are some playlists you can go and have a nosy at if you wish. But I work on a diamond painting each December from the 1st to the 24th. In this instance, there will be a 25th, but normally it's from the 1st to the 24th. I divide a canvas that's normally 30 by 40, but can be bigger. I divide it up into 24 sections, and I do a section a day throughout December. The idea is that grab yourself a diamond painting, whatever size. It can be as small as a 15 by 15. It could be a huge one. It depends on what diamond painting you want to do, how much time you have to diamond paint per day, etc. But the idea is over the month of December, which is a very, very busy month, you try and find a little bit of time each day to do some diamond painting and have a little bit of me time. Oh, my cardigan's matching my painting this time. Yeah, so the idea is to find a little bit of me time each day throughout December. Now, some people are busier than others. There is also things like work. When you work in retail, it's an extremely busy time, and definitely feels like it. I have been there in the past. But yeah, try and do a section of a painting a day. Say, even if you keep it small, because you know your time is short. There may be some days that you know you've got an activity on one day, maybe you've got work, meal out afterwards, or whatever else, and you're not going to get to do it. Try and cram in a little bit of time the day before or the day after to do a little bit more diamond painting. So you've had your me time condensed. That's the idea of the whip and chat. I will be doing a whip and waffle, as I like to call them, whip and chat video every day throughout the month of December. Now, sometimes I do film 2 in one day because I'm busy the next day. But the idea is I will be doing a section of this diamond painting each and every day. Now, this diamond painting is one that we did in collaboration with Diamond Art Studio UK. It is our design. It is an exclusive to us diamond painting that has now sold out. However, it is an advent calendar. And I'm so excited to do this one. I was excited doing our Zesty Wolf collab last year, but I'm so excited to do this advent calendar. So I will be kitting up the front of this a little bit differently because it is an advent calendar and it has the numbers on it. If you do want to see how I have done previous paintings and how I've used cover paper, etc. to do them, then by all means check out the playlists for Advents for previous years. I have the preparation videos in there as well, so you can see how I've kitted it up. But for this one, I am going to be dividing the canvas up so that I do a square and an outline of it each day. So for each gap, there is actually 2 colours for the outline. It's got a nice little bit of shading as well. And of course, at the top and the sides here I'll be doing 2 rows, but basically I'm going to be doing a square a day. I am doing the round version of this because I am doing a whip and chat on it each day. A round is slightly quicker for me than a square. As much as I love doing squares and as much as I have this painting in a square, committing to a whip and chat a day throughout the whole of December is rather time consuming, so I have gone for round on this one. I love them both, so I will probably do the square at some point anyway. For the diamonds, I'm going to use these. This is storage from Star Raw. I'm going to use these because they're quite deep. This painting only has 17 colours, of which 3 of them are ABs. So I'm going to use these because they hold quite a lot of diamonds. and I think this will be the easiest one as well for me to be able to have on the desk with my easel, with my computer for your comments and stuff while we are doing the whip and waffle. So let's get the diamonds prepped. So this is my bag of round diamonds, and then I do have my round sticker sheet. So in all the diamond paintings that are round, you get round stickers, and in the square diamonds you get square stickers. Because I can, I'm actually going to use a set of square stickers. I know it's a kind of little cheat that I get away with, but I'm going to do it because I love the look of the square diamonds on this storage. So I'm just going in DMC order for this. We do have numbers in relation to this. The number 147. It ended up being in the Zesty Wolf last year as a happy accident. We had the number 147. It wasn't intentional, but it did make me and Sam smile. So for this year, she's made the symbols 1, 4 and 7 intentionally, and therefore the AB diamonds. But what I've done is this one next to it, to the right of it, is the rest of the 310. Because some of the backgrounds are 310, there is a bit. So 414. So that had 21.45 grams. So it fits into 2. So anything that's 11, 12 grams will fit in 1 tub. So we've got number 4. This one, oh look, 11.95. Let's see if these all fit in 1. If we can actually get 12 grams in 1. I'm hoping we can. Oh, it's borderline. It's borderline, but they have fit in. Or they have in the rounds anyway. In the squares, you do get more diamonds. Because, of course, it's a square. And therefore, they're slightly smaller. So there is more diamonds on the canvas, hence the reason I'm doing rounds. They're a little bit bigger and it's a little bit quicker for me. Because after a few days of doing whip and chats, hour-long whip and chats, it does feel like it's taken a while to actually talk your way through a whole painting. And it's fine at the beginning of December. And don't get me wrong, I love doing the whole thing. But come nearer the end of December, when things in my house get busier, it can sometimes be a little bit harder to squeeze in those whip and chats. So I give myself a fighting chance. Okay, so now we are on 729. Gorgeous yellow. This is the background one as well. See, look. Matches my cardie. This is 10.95 grams. So this again is another tightish squeeze, but they do fit in. And that's why I've gone for this storage, to give myself the best fighting chance I can of getting them all in. Then we have a 762. Pale grey. And then we go on to some of the gorgeous blues. 807. I am so excited to actually start this diamond painting. And I'm kitting it up. I always choose to kit up my advent painting 2 weekends before I start. So I think it's a Wednesday, the 1st of December this year. So the 1st of December is a Wednesday. So I don't kit it up the Saturday before. I kit it up the Saturday before that. And I do that just so that anybody else that is deciding to join in and kit up, if they can't do it the weekend I have, they've got the video to do it the weekend after, if that makes sense. to try and give people plenty of time to watch through my video and kit it up when suits them. Okay, this one is 11.95 as well, but it is a lot tighter squeeze. But I've got them all in. 3766, that is a gorgeous colour. Okay, 3799. And then 3811, which is the next blue. I am not going to get them all into one. But luckily, I still have 2 pots left. Because this is 14.45 in weight, which means I'm definitely going to need to go into the next one. So let's just do a nice amount and then tip the rest in. Just got one stuck behind the label. Get in. And these from Star Raw do actually slide. So if I did need to add one in, I could. And I'm going to work in these rows. Nearly onto the actual ABs. 3829. An accent. Is this actually closer? Oh, that's actually pretty much a perfect match to my cardigan. Very, very close. 5200. This one will also need to go into 2. Quite a bit of accents of white. But when we designed this painting, albeit Sam putting in more work than me, we did make sure that there is some ABs in every single square. Every single section has at least some AB, and here's the ABs now. Number 1, number 4, and number 7 for 4 Kids at 147. How pretty does that look? Right. Number 1 is a 318 AB. Then we have a 444 AB. And then we have a 5200 AB. That was so quick to kit up. So quick. We had no static going on in that one. Oh, look at those. I want to do it now. Okay, canvas. I'm actually itching for the 1st of December, but also not. I am not prepared for Christmas myself. I don't think I am yet prepared to actually do a whip and chat a day. There's some things I like to prep around the house ready. I'm not ready for that, but I want to start. Okay, so I am going to do this slightly different for the cover, because as much as part of me would like to cover up each one with a piece of cover paper cut down to size, so that, you know, do I do that actually? Or do I just cut through the top? Because my other thought was to just get my ruler, my long ruler, and line up with this middle line, this line down the middle of each, and get a craft knife. And as long as you're careful and don't press down too hard, you can actually cut through the top sheet without cutting through the canvas. See? As long as you're not too heavy on it. Now, sometimes it can pull a little bit. That's what it's done here. I've got a little nick that I've not quite got hold of, and therefore it's ripping the plastic. And it's doing it the other way now. Okay, maybe I see if I can make cover paper work. Because my idea was to cut through that. And if I could cut through this and have a nice cut line without it hitting any snags like it has done here, where I've not cut through it fully. Have I done it at the top as well? See, if I'm pulling this down, it keeps hitting a snag, and then the top sheet is actually peeling off the wrong way, and that's not cut meat, that's still covered up. Okay, so maybe I do need to do cover paper. So let me grab a smaller ruler. So that is just over 3 inches. If I do it in centimetres, so what I'm going for is this middle line here, which is where I want to do for most of the squares. The only ones that will be a little bit bigger are ones on the edges. So I'm measuring it, and it is 7 point, excuse my head sticking in now, 7.8 centimetres for these middle squares by 7.8. Should be. Yeah. But then these corner ones are bigger. They're actually 8.1. And then this one will be 7.8 by 8.1, because we'll be doing the 2 bottom rows. So to do that, I need to cut out each individual square as a different size. The other thing you can do potentially is leave the clear cover on and just peel it back for each square, but I'd find I'd end up getting my cardigan on stuff. So when I'm doing number 1, I don't want to end up sticking my hand to number 19 or number 21 or number 3, depending on how I peel my top corner back. And I do like the idea of them all being covered up until I unveil them. So let's cut some cover paper. Why not? I actually have a roll of cover paper. Where did I put it? I have a roll that I purchased from Amazon in the US. Oh, must have been months ago. Somebody mentioned how they had rolls of cover paper on Amazon US, and I decided to purchase one to see what it was like, and I've not used it yet, and I can't remember where I put it. How good's that? I don't know where I put it. Okay, so maybe I just go for normal cover paper pieces then and cut those down, because we could spend all day for me cutting these. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my Fiskars trimmer, and of course when it gets to 7.8 it's actually the join. That is frustrating, because my other trimmer only does inches. Okay, let's grab a piece of cover paper and see what we can get done. So, oh, they actually aren't wide enough. The ones that we sell are slightly too thin, and because it's a square, they would have to be wider to work. My brain is currently ticking over of how I can make our cover sheet sizes work, or whether I need to find my roll of cover paper. But it's frustrating because I don't want people to have to keep buying a load more cover paper pieces just to kit up the advent the same way that I am, because our square ones are not quite wide enough. They're wide enough bar 1 row of diamonds, or 2 rows in this case because it's an edge. They're fine the other way if you wanted to cover it up. It's just not going to cover up all the top and all the bottom. It is literally 1 row of diamonds off for a square. Okay, Okay, where did I put that roll of cover paper? I'm going to have to go hunting. Okay, I've just had a mini hunt. I know it is somewhere about, but I've decided that I'm not going to use it. I am not going to do the cover paper that's not the size that we sell. I'm going to make this work, and I think I know a way of making it work. My brain is just trying to figure it out at the moment. This is fun. What I'm thinking of doing is basically having one side that's right, but then finding a way of overlapping it. So let's work on one of these edges that is the biggest that we need. But then if I cut that down there, then that piece isn't going to be right by overlapping it there, because that's going to leave a square undone. So maybe it's not going to work with a single piece. It's in effect going to have to be two pieces overlapped. But maybe I can cut a generic size that will work. It will work for most of them. It will work for all apart from the corners. Okay, so I still need it to be 7.8. 7.8, just over 7.8 actually. Does inches work out easier? We could possibly make inches work at 3 1/8. Okay. And of course, this is my trimmer's not right, so I'm just going to cut it and hope for the best, because I've talked about it too much now. So let's peel this off a section. Basically, I want to see if, because I've cut this halfway through, I'm actually leaving pieces of cover paper behind because my cut is not strong enough, which is why it's not working for me. Okay, so is that wide enough? Okay, so that's wide enough, but it's not long enough. But I don't want to be cutting. I do want to cut two pieces, but I need them to be able to overlap a little bit. So I've done it. Is that where I cut the first one? Yeah. So I've cut the first one. Probably 7.9 centimetres is what I've gone for. And then let's go for 6. So let's go for 7.9 by 6, and let's cut a few and see how it works. So I want to cut the long edge at 6, and then I want to cut this one at 7.9. I think that's where it's up to on my trimmer. It's very hard to see. I'm actually using this faint line here. I've actually gone just a little bit in. I've probably used this edge of the trimmer to say that's 7.9. Are they both the same? They are. So what I want to do is, if we go for the middle one, and I may have to adjust the ones next to it. But basically, I want to be able to overlap two pieces, and that is one square. Now, I say I may have to shuffle some of them over as I'm working on it, but it's the most generic size that I can get. They don't have to be cut down to 6. If you're happy for more to overlap, you can have more overlapping. The doing of the 6 is just just so that you've got a decent chunk that's actually sticking to the painting. But then, so on this square, I've overlapped them top to bottom. But on this one, I'm going to have to do it side to side because, see, that one's already slightly bigger because of the way I've cut it. But because I want it to go over this edge a little bit longer, I've not cut that one as short. So maybe my guide that I've used across the bottom of here, of that line there, is actually too close. It's not 7.9 centimeters. Where's my easier trimmer? Not in here. Of course it's not. Yeah, that's definitely wider. I've managed to cut this one wider. I've managed to cut these two pieces wider than I cut the other two pieces. And this paper trimmer isn't the best. It needs a new blade. So I'm going to trim that down just a little bit, albeit it is no way straight. This is a rough guide. If I find it's hanging over too much, then I can just shuffle the pieces next to it. But that's what I've got. So this one is number 1. So maybe let's, oh, these stickers don't stick. What did I use last year? I used, there was a pen that was recommended to me for writing on cover paper. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. It's this Glass Metal Plastic by Edding. 750 Creative. And what I can do is just put the number 1 on there. Very badly written. That one is the number 21. And that's very badly written. So I might write those a little bit better in a minute. Okay, so I need to cut a load of cover paper now to make this work. And this is where we thought kitting up the diamonds was quick. This is where we find that doing the rest is in no way quick. Because getting an exact science on this is not easy. So I want 7.9. I obviously, it wasn't that line I was going to, it was this edge of the trimmer. Let me see if that's a better fit. So if I go to the bottom of there, oh, that is a slightly better fit. That's what I should have used. I'm still not perfect, and as you can see, I've already managed to get my finger on this while it's still wet, because it does rub off. If you try hard enough, it will rub off. Get your fingers nice and black, but it does stay on longer than most other things. The other option I could do, and what I was first going to do, is to write the likes of the number 1 on a sticker. So I'm just using one of my leftover stickers. Pop that on. I've got black on it. And then you could use a piece of tape over the top. And that should stick. In fact, that sticks better. So what I'm going to do, because I know you guys like a long process video, but to me there is only so much that I can chat about while doing it. I am going to cut up all of my pieces of cover paper for all of the squares apart from the corners, because the corners do need a bigger piece. I'm going to cut them and prep them, but I'm not going to put anything on the canvas. We'll do that part together. So basically it's just the boring cutting. I will do all the boring cutting for all that I need for these, and then I'll come back and we'll measure these ones that need to be a little bit longer because we've got 2 edges that need them. I've not got a shorter edge. And then I can basically confirm the lengths that I've cut them in case you guys want to copy and do the same. And we'll figure this out together. And I might do stickers with the numbers 1 to 25. And I think it'll be quite nice to actually unveil it as it goes along. Even though we've all seen it, we've all seen what the full advent calendar looks like. I think it will be nicer for it to be revealed with diamonds, 1 square at a time. So stay tuned while I go and cut a load of cover paper. Okay, so this is organised chaos, as it is pretty much every December advent that I kit up, because while I go through things in my head, they don't always work out. So I have cut our 3x4 cover paper, or about 3 inches by 4 inches. This is, it's done in centimetres, but it's roughly that, down to, so that I will be using 2 sections overlapped per square on here, and it will work for all of them apart from the corners. So if you do have the bigger 6x4 cover paper, the stuff that's about 6x4 inches, then you basically want this square to be roughly 7.9 centimetres by 7.9 centimetres. I think it's just a little bit off, but a little bit of an overlap is not awful, because we will adjust it when we're doing it. So I have cut 21 to suit that, but what I do need to do, and I want to do before I take this cover off, is measure the longer section, which is, I did measure it before. I think we can get away with 8.2 centimetres because we can overhang on the corners. So what I'm doing is, if I take 2 pieces of cover paper, and this is where I will need to go up to the top of my trimmer. In fact, no, let's do it with 4. I was cutting it with 4 before. So I want to go to 8.2 or even just over. And then I want to get rid of that bit. And then I want to trim these down to 6 centimetres again, just the overlap. You don't have to. But otherwise your overlap is only a smidge if you want to keep it in the lines. Okay, so they're my corner pieces. In fact, let me check it works. Let's actually check it's enough. So that is enough to cover the corner section. And it's got a very slim overlap on this side. I've actually overlapped it more on the top, but that's my personal preference. So I need another 4 pieces to do the other corners. So I want to go to 8.2. So if you again have the bigger pieces of cover paper, you would want to do the corner ones 8.2 centimetres by 8.2, and you would just need 1 piece cut per corner. And then for your edge pieces, you would need to be 7.9 by 8.2. So they are slightly different just because it is 2 rows of diamonds all the way round. But what I'm doing is I'm doing 1 set of diamonds per square until I come to an edge. Okay, so trimmer away. Let's cover paper this bad boy up, and let's take off this plastic cover that I always seem to have problems with. And it's not the cover sheet's fault. It's just we don't get on. Okay, I think I've got it all off where I badly cut it. I'm just running my hand up to check it's all sticky. So let's just get that out my way. Okay, my corner pieces I'm going to do first because there's only 4 of them and they're bigger. So I want to do my corners. I do still need to number it up as well. I do realise that. You could put your number things on as you go along with each piece. I'm going to do it at the end, but that's just because I do have the box / I have my square version of the diamond painting to use as a reference. So if you're doing it along with me, then by all means, once you've got, in fact I want to start on that corner, once you've got all your pieces of cover paper down and ready, then either rewind to a part of the video where you can see the full image, or you'll have the bit in a minute when I do all my numbers. In a bit. The bit in a bit. Right. So for these ones across the bottom, I need to make sure they're lined up this way because this is where I will have the bigger overlap. And these are all which different ways, and as I say, some of them aren't exactly perfect, but I can line them up to be a little bit more perfect when it comes to doing each square. So for example, when I do number 14, I will peel up these and move them over if I've not done them already. What number is that one? That is number 6. So I would have actually done this one before I did number 14. So it's not too much of an issue. But I just want to get them lined up as neat as I can. And it will slowly reveal the advent. Right, that way is not going to work with it. So with these, I have to go this way round. So we'll just keep turning around our diamond painting until we find a way that works. Because I know a few people have asked on the Facebook group, a few people that have kitted up already have asked, you know, how am I kitting mine up? And I did actually think I would be doing it differently. I did think I would be leaving the clear cover on and slicing it with a craft knife like I did at the beginning. But as you can tell, it didn't go so well. It didn't work for me. So I've ditched that idea. I've done a revamp. If you have cover paper sheets that are a full 6x4 inches, or I think it's 15 by 10. No, it'll be 15. Oh, I don't know. Bigger centimetres. 10 by 15, I think they are. So if you have the cover paper sheets that are 10 by 15, then of course you will be able to use one sheet and have one piece. But actually, if you have the smaller ones, using 2, you're still only using 1 sheet of cover paper. If you have the big ones, you're using 1 sheet of cover paper, and 2 small ones equals 1 sheet of cover paper. So it's not like you're using more, you're just using it in a different way by having it overlap. And these are quite nice sizes for other paintings as well. Sometimes it's nice to have a few other sizes when you have maybe a smaller painting or a painting that you know you're not going to have as much time to do. Sometimes it can be nice to have smaller sections on those. And I just say, do you know what? I love the Advent that much. And I do love doing the Advent. That if I need to use some cover paper to cut up cover paper to make it work the best for me, then I'm going to do it because I enjoy the Advent so much. I want it to be the best, you know, the nicest experience for me I can. and therefore if I don't use these until maybe next year's Advent, then so what? That's all okay with me. I say there's not an overlap on these by much at all. It is probably less than 1 millimetre. But this is working in the idea of covering it up for me. So cover paper is on. I've still got that black. I need to try and not rub it off because I need to get it off though. I did go and wash my hands as well before I cut the cover paper to try and get the black off, so it doesn't transfer. What I've also done is I have done the numbers 1 to 25 on stickers, on these blue ones. So ignore these at the top. This is me using Diamond Art Club brought out more AB numbers. So we revamped our sticker sheet for AB numbers, and in doing so we did have a few that were already pre-printed, so I'm using them. I'm using the blank ones. So I do have my numbers 1 to 25 written down. I'm going to do the stickers and tape because as much as this pen does work, I have been known to end up with nice big black bits on my arm, and I don't need to make any more of a mess of myself than I already can. So I know this is number 1 because we've already gone there. And the stickers do stick on this cover paper. However, they can end up peeling up because it is a little bit more non-stick and they are only small. Whereas tape, sticky tape, we call it sellotape, but I know in Australia, I think I've said this before, sellotape is something different in Australia. It's a brand name for something different. So sticky tape over the top means they don't move. Now, I can see on my schematic quite a few of these, but I'm going to get hold of the box just because I can pull this closer to my face without lifting it up every 2 seconds. And I'm going to get my numbers on. So we've got number 11, number 8, and I think I'll put them all on before I put my tape on, just in case I make an error. I've got more chance of being able to lift it off and move it. 16, then we have number 1, then we have 19, that's my daughter's birthday. 17 for that one, 23, 13, 21, number 3. So that's the first 2 rows. I've got this propped on my arm. I'm not sure if you can see, but that's the easiest way for me to be able to lift it up and read it. Then we've got number 4, number 10, number 25. Bonus Christmas Day video. I will be on a plane that day, but I will be pre-filming the video for that one, so that it can go up. Number 12, number 18. So if you do get that lull between Christmas present opening and maybe Christmas dinner, or maybe you get that lull after Christmas dinner, I actually find that I am more likely to be able to squeeze in a little time to diamond paint on Christmas Day, bar this year because I'm getting on a plane, but I'm more likely to be able to squeeze a bit of time in after Christmas dinner and stuff, Christmas evening, to diamond paint than I am on Christmas Eve. But hey ho, that's often how life goes. 22 used to be my Nana's birthday, bless her. Number 2. Then we have number 15, number 5. so excited to do this now. 20. The excitement waned off a little bit when it got a little bit crazy with how I was actually going to do the cover paper and all the rest of it, but now that's sorted, I'm getting excited again. Then we have number 9, number 24, number 6, number 14, and then number 7. And as much as I was hoping that the cutting of the sort of top, the top of it was going to work on the basis that, you know, it's quicker, it's straightforward, you don't need any extra supplies, and there may be somebody who can do it a lot better than me. There may be people that are happy to use a piece of washi tape over the top and divide it up. Or maybe you're somebody that will just keep the clear cover intact and pull it back for each day, whichever works for you. As much as that would be possibly easier, this has been a bit of a faff. Let's all agree. It's been a bit of a shambles for the kitting up video. No preparation involved, obviously. I actually am quite happy with that. Oh, I've just realised what I've done is when I've done this one. Okay, that's not good. Let's just cut it. When I've stuck this tape down, because the actual cover sheet goes the opposite way, I'd actually tape them both together, which is not a bad thing. I've done it on these two as well. Let's try and do the tape the other way on the rest. Again, it's not a bad thing. It will come off and I can still pull both pieces up together. But I've got more room to mess about and move about if I do the tape in the same direction. So yeah, as much as doing the cover paper is a lot more messing, gives you guys a longer video. Let's take the wins. I actually really like the idea, and I have always liked this about the Advent, and I always like it about any diamond paintings I do, because I always change the clear cover to cover paper on pretty much all my paintings. I like the fact that we're not going to see the whole Advent calendar again until it's completed. So if you have the patience to cut up either full sheets of cover paper or separate ones like I've done and overlap them, then I'd do it. Because now I cannot see any of this until it's done. I know what the image is, excuse me, the schematic's up there, but I still think there's something about it being revealed section by section. So, quickest kitting up of diamonds ever. Maybe not ever, but definitely a quick setting up of the diamonds, a very long setting up of the canvas, but it is done. I am happy. I'm happy that it is covered in cover paper. I'm happy that there's nice different little sections. We will be starting on December the 1st, so it will always be up at 4 PM GMT. Summer is definitely officially over in this neck of the woods, and we are on GMT time zone again. 4 PM GMT is when my videos go up on this channel, apart from the odd glitch where it scoots a little bit later. So do join me 4 PM each day while I work on a section of this diamond painting, chatting through your comments from, you know, a day or 2 days previously. I say sometimes I do complete a day's painting before it goes up. Sometimes I do a couple of videos in one day because I've got plans, but I get in 25 sections of me time throughout the month of December, which is the aim. The aim is to get a little bit of me time. So I hope any and all of you can join me, whether you do your own small diamond painting, whether you do some off the canvas items and maybe do a keyring each day, maybe you do different crafts, knitting, crochet, whatever it is, scrapbooking, whatever it may be. Try and do a little bit of craft each day on the lead up to Christmas, a little bit of me time. If you can't fit in craft on a certain day for whatever reason, get a little bit of me time another way. Go and take a nice soak in the tub, whatever it may be. But yeah, hopefully you'll join me, listen to me waffle and diamond paint my way through December. And once this is finished, in the new year, I may look at getting this advent calendar framed for future years, and I can use it as a Christmas decoration. But either way, I'm probably going to enjoy doing this one and my square one. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.